Dr. Suman, and welcome to all the applicants who have joined us for this webinar. And this is a very, very special webinar for our postgraduate students, whether they will be a postgraduate, MPhil or PhD students. So most of you may not be new, in fact, to the admission process of the University of Delhi, because some of you must have already been aware of it when you took admissions into the University of Delhi. For all these outside students, who have joined us from various other universities, who did their undergraduate from the other universities, a very, very brief go through about how does a PG admission works. आप सभी लोगों को पता है कि हम लोगों का जो रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोसेस है वो हम लोगों का 20 जून को खुल गया था. रजिस्ट्रेशन पोर्टल जो है 28 जून को खुल गया था और अभी तक जो हम लोगों के पास डेट है रजिस्ट्रेशन पोर्टल बंद होने की, इनफैक्ट रजिस्ट्रेशन क्लोज होने की, वो 4 जुलाई है. पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट एडमिशंस में आपके पास जो है, अगर मैं मास्टर्स की बात करूं तो दो तरीके हम लोगों के पास एडमिशंस होते हैं. They are either merit based or entrance based. The merit based admissions to the various courses, which are run by the different departments of the universities, they are open only for those students who have passed out their undergraduate from the University of Delhi. तो जिन लोगों ने अपना जो अंडर ग्रेजुएट है वो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली से पास किया है, उनके लिए जो है देयर इज एन ऑप्शन ऑफ ऑप्टिंग फॉर, आप लोग जो है अपना ऑप्शन दे सकते हैं कि सिर्फ हमें मेरिट बेस्ड एडमिशंस के लिए करना है. जो स्टूडेंट्स दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के बाहर से हैं, दैट मीन्स जिन्होंने अपना अंडर ग्रेजुएट जो है वो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली से ना करके पर किसी और यूनिवर्सिटी से किया है, उनके पास ऑप्शन है फॉर द एंट्रेंस बेस्ड एडमिशंस. But those applicants, specifically the Delhi University applicants who are also eligible under the merit based, वो ऑप्शन अपना एंट्रेंस बेस्ड के लिए भी भर सकते हैं. तो वहां पे आपके पास 3 ऑप्शंस होंगे, एंट्रेंस बेस्ड ओनली, मेरिट बेस्ड ओनली, या बोथ एंट्रेंस बेस्ड एंड मेरिट बेस्ड. सो आप उस हिसाब से अपना ऑप्शन भर सकते हैं. और एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया क्या है वो हमारा बुलेटिन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन में भी क्लियरली दे रखा हुआ है. सो काइंडली रीड द बुलेटिन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन वेरी केयरफुली. एंड ये जो एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया है ये आपके पास पोर्टल पे भी आ रहे हैं. तो आपको जो है एवरी स्टेज पे जब भी आप लोग सबमिट करते होगे तो एक ऑप्शन बार बार आता है कि आई हैव रेड इट केयरफुली. तो ये जो चीजें हैं प्लीज, क्योंकि हमारे पास ये क्वेरीज बहुत आ रही हैं कि क्या हम लोग एडिटिंग कर सकते हैं. तो मेरी आप सब लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप लोग बहुत बहुत ध्यानपूर्वक जो है अपना फॉर्म भरिए, ताकि आपको एडिटिंग की जरूरत ही ना पड़े. जो एडिटिंग्स हम लोग अलाउ करेंगे बाद में वो बेसिकली आपके एकेडमिक से लेटर होगा, या नेचुरली कोई सर्टिफिकेट्स हमको हम समझ पाते हैं कि आप लोगों के वो सर्टिफिकेट्स अपडेटेड नहीं है. So those have been mentioned in the bulletin also कि आप लोग अपना अभी के लिए जो है पुराना जो है OBC सर्टिफिकेट है, EWS सर्टिफिकेट है, या और कोई आपके पास सपोर्टिंग सर्टिफिकेट है वो डाल सकते हैं. लेकिन बहुत ध्यान रहे कि एडमिशन के वक्त हमें आप लोगों का नया सर्टिफिकेट ही चाहिए होगा, और इसको अपलोड करने की जो तारीख है वो हम लोग आपको बताएंगे. बट ये प्रक्रिया शुरू होगी सिर्फ जब हम लोगों का रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोसेस क्लोज हो जाएगा. So बाकी जो है, I will now invite in fact our experts. We have 2 experts with us. Dr. Ashutosh, he is from the physics department, but he has been associated with the admissions for a very, very long time. And we have the second guest with us, which is Dr. Pinky Sharma. She is from the Department of Law, and she has also been associated with the admission process of the University of Delhi for a very, very long time. So, because we are already in the mid of the registration, so most of you would already know what the processes are. Your queries are being answered by our help desk. So आप लोग या तो मेल डाल रहे हैं या फोन कर रहे हैं, हमारे वॉलंटियर्स जो हैं आपकी क्वेरीज को आंसर कर रहे हैं. एक निवेदन आप सब लोगों से और है कि ये मत बोलिएगा कि हम लोगों को जो है वो हेल्प डेस्क से रिप्लाई नहीं आ रहा है. हमारे पास बहुत ज्यादा जो है ये क्वेरीज आ रहे हैं. हमारे जो वॉलंटियर्स हैं वो लगे हुए हैं कि सबका जवाब जो है आप लोगों को जो है दे सके. तो हो सकता है कि थोड़ा सा समय जरूर लग जाए, बट अगर ये एक्सपेक्टेशन आपकी है कि हमने अभी फोन मिलाया है और अभी फोन मिल जाएगा, तो हो सकता है वो एक्सपेक्टेशन ना हो पाए। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे बच्चे जो हैं, हमारे वॉलंटियर्स जो हैं, वो आप लोगों की क्वेरीज आंसर नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो भी कर रहे हैं। बट उसके बावजूद भी प्लीज जो है दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट बार बार देखिएगा, हम लोग वहां पे नोटिस डाल रहे हैं। आप लोगों के जितने भी हमारे पास क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं उनके हम FAQs बना करके वो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट डाल रहे हैं। आपके हेल्प के लिए हम लोगों ने वीडियोस भी अपलोड किए हुए हैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी वेबसाइट पे। बुलेटिन को प्लीज पक्का जरूर पढ़िएगा। तो इस बात पे समाप्त करते हुए मैं सुमन जी को कहती हूँ कि हमारे गेस्ट को अब बुला करके वो थोड़े से कुछ बताएं बच्चों को PG एडमिशंस के बारे में।
थैंक यू मैम। जैसा कि मैम ने भी बता दिया अभी कि ये कोविड-19 की वजह से हम पहले जो ओपन डेज ऑर्गेनाइज किया करते थे वो ओपन डेज हम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तो इसलिए उसका अल्टरनेटिव जो हमने इस लाइव वेबिनार के रूप में किया है कि हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा बच्चों के क्वेरीज को आंसर कर सकें। और एवरीडे उन्हें जो फॉर्म भरने में बहुत सारे बच्चों को बहुत तरह की समस्या कई बार उन्हें अपनी नासमझी की वजह से भी आ रही है। तो हमारे साथ जो आज के दोनों गेस्ट हैं, डॉक्टर आशुतोष भारद्वाज जो एडमिशन से लंबे समय तक जुड़े रहे हैं और अभी ARSD कॉलेज के वेबिनार में भी गए थे। मैं आशुतोष जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो हमारे यंग एस्पिरेंट्स जो एडमिशन अभी चाह रहे हैं उन्हें एड्रेस करें और उन्हें कुछ गाइड करें। आशुतोष जी।
थैंक यू सुमन जी। थैंक यू शोभा जी। शोभा जी ने ऑलरेडी आप लोगों को काफ़ी डिटेल में अवगत कराया है कि क्या प्रोसीजर है। मैं सबसे पहले आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि यू शुड विजिट द वेबसाइट, विजिट इट केयरफुली। There are few tabs on the postgraduate admission portal. All the tabs are very important. First is the important information tab, जहाँ पे आपको बुलेटिन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो अवेलेबल है, आप उसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। और बुलेटिन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर doing the registration process as well as taking the admission later on. बुलेटिन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन में थोड़ा सा भी समय लगाएंगे तो उसमें आपको पूरा का पूरा फॉर्मेट भी दिया हुआ है जिस तरह से आपको फॉर्म भरना है, पर्सनल डिटेल्स, कौन कौन से आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपलोड करने हैं, आधार कार्ड या पासपोर्ट, कौन कौन से आप अपना आइडेंटिटी के लिए अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपलोड कर सकते हैं। तो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसीजर जो है वो उसके अंदर बहुत डिटेल में दिया हुआ है, तो जिससे आप गलती करने से बच सकते हैं कि किस तरह से आपको इंफॉर्मेशन अपनी एंटर करनी है ड्यूरिंग द रजिस्ट्रेशन। और अगर आप एक से ज़्यादा कोर्सेज के लिए एलिजिबल हैं तो उसके लिए आपको सेपरेट फॉर्म भरना है, वो भी उसके अंदर बताया हुआ है। तो अगर आप सपोज MA हिस्ट्री के लिए एलिजिबल हैं, साथ साथ आप MA सोशियोलॉजी के लिए भी एलिजिबल हैं, तो आपको 2 फॉर्म भरने होंगे। तो पहले आप अपना एक फॉर्म कंप्लीट करेंगे, फिर आप अपना दूसरा फॉर्म कंप्लीट करेंगे। और इनफैक्ट जो सबसे अच्छी बात है इसमें, जो सेकंड हमारा टैब है वो एलिजिबिलिटी टैब है, जो है उसमें आप अपनी एलिजिबिलिटी चेक कर सकते हैं कि आप किसी भी कोर्स के लिए एलिजिबल हैं या नहीं हैं। रजिस्ट्रेशन फी जो है वो 750 रुपीज़ है जनरल कैटेगरी और OBC कैटेगरी के लिए, और 300 है फॉर द for SC, ST and PWD and the EWS category. तो
आशुतोष जी 1 मिनट बीच में रोक रहा हूँ थोड़ा से।
हाँ श्योर, हो सकता है मैंने कुछ गलत बोला।
नहीं, वी आर गेटिंग अ रिक्वेस्ट दैट वी शुड बी बाइलिंगुअल, थोड़ा इंग्लिश पे ज्यादा करें। ये PG वाले बच्चे हैं, उनकी रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है फेसबुक से।
ओके
या
so in the admission bulletin, the fee of UR, OBC and other candidates is 750 and the fee for SC, ST, PWBD and EWS rupees. So what you have to do, why I am emphasizing, because sometimes you are not eligible for a particular course. Suppose you are not eligible for say MSc Physics and you apply for MSc Physics and everything processed well and you submit the fee, then later on there will not be any procedure to refund the fee, because you should first check your eligibility for a particular course and only then apply for that course. under the eligibility tab, you can check, you can just select a course, particular course, and then the eligibility will come. And as Professor Shobha has already explained you that there are two categories under which admission is given. One is merit-based and the other is entrance-based. But it is not for all the courses. You will have to check the bulletin. There is Appendix 2, where you will see that we are offering 74 master programs, departments of Delhi University, and out of those 74 programs, there are 27 programs which are totally entrance-based. So in some of the programs, you will not get an option while filling the form for choosing the merit-based admission because they are only based on the entrance procedure. Also, if you are from Delhi University, that is, if you have done an honors degree from Delhi University, only then you are eligible for the master's program for a particular stream. Like if you have done BSc Honors Physics college, then you are eligible to apply under the merit program as well as entrance. So it is up to you. If you think you are the topper of your college and you are sure that you will be admitted directly based on your merit, then you did not have to apply under the entrance category. But if you are not sure that whether the merit admission list, choose both the options. So you can apply either in merit or in entrance or in both. Is the choice available to the students of the honors degree of the Delhi University. So, but for the students who are applying from outside, that is from other universities, they have to choose only entrance based. However, for, as I said, for the 27 courses, even if you are a student from Delhi University, you will have to choose only the entrance based option in the for the admission. Now, when you will be filling the form, you will see that you have a lot of the, even though most of the courses, in fact, all of the courses are run in various departments of the university. The classes are held in the departments of the university, even though the admission is in the colleges of the university. So you have to give the preference of colleges in the master's program, though it is not a very important thing because you get a degree from the university, but still a lot of students are worried that I should get in Hansraj College or I should get in Karoimal College. So you please choose the preference very carefully because that preference you will not be able to change later on. Also, it is important from the point of view that some of the fee structure for different colleges is different. So please check the fee of different colleges because that is also one of the criteria which a lot of students prefer while choosing to get admission in the master's program, because some of the colleges have a higher fee and some of the colleges have a lower fee, and some of the students to take admission in a college which has a lower fee. But if your preference is for a college where the fee is higher and your name appears in the admission list of that college, then we will not be able to change it later on because you have given the preference of that college and now you are getting admission in that particular college. So you will have to take the admission in that college. The procedure would, this time the admission committee has done because of the pandemic situation, because of the circumstances, they have gone a mile ahead for you guys. And what they have done, they have transformed the admission to a completely online admission process. So you don't have to visit the department or colleges in the present situation until unless then the university will open. Of course, then you will be visiting the college or department physically for the verification. So right now you will not be visiting the college or department for physical verification. So when the admission list will come out, then again you have to log into your portal, you have to course, and you will see the college where according to your preference your name has come in the admission list, and then you will apply, and then the department will verify you online, and you will again get a fee link. So you have to pay the fee. Don't think that appearing of your name in the admission list certify you the admission. You have to act proactively and keep checking your portal, and as soon as you see that you got the approval during the admission process, you will have to pay the fee, and once you pay the fee, then your admission is confirmed. There is also option of upgradation, like if you will not get an admission in the desired, in the first preference which you have given as a first preference, and you are getting the third preference in the first admission list, maybe in the next subsequent admission list, in the second or in the third, you may get your first preference. And then also you have to be proactive, because your admission will now appear in your portal and your previous admission will get cancelled. So you have to again apply and pay either the balance fee, or if there is already the fee of the first college was more, then you will not have to pay, but at least you will have to do certain steps. So these procedures will come very shortly on the website, so you have to keep checking the website. So be active and keep checking the website. Particularly for the entrance, you might be still wondering, under the entrance tab, important date tab, we have still clearly put tentative date for the conduct of the entrance examination to be announced later. So that will be announced as soon as we get a confirmation from the National Testing Agency, and we will put the date accordingly on the portal. And as Shobhaji has explained, that there will be two categories, that is the merit based and the entrance based. For the merit based, we are going to open a portal again if your results have not come out. So don't worry, the portal will be reopened again and the dates will be announced in advance, and you have to update your result in the portal. And once you update your result in the portal, accordingly later on we will publish the list for the merit based and entrance based. But if your result has not come, and if you by somehow you were not able to update your result of the qualifying examination based on which you are seeking admission in the master's program, your name will not appear in the merit-based admission list. Whereas, even if your result has not come out of the qualifying examination, this admission list, your name will appear if you have also applied under the entrance base and you have appeared in the entrance examination. So that you have to be very careful, that when the portal will open again, you will have to update your marks. The other thing you have to be very careful is, while you update your marks, there is now you get a CGPA. There is a conversion formula which is very clearly given in the bulletin of information, that how you have to convert your CGPA into the percentage. And when you are writing your percentage, don't round it off. You have to write your percentage to 2 significant digits. So suppose your percentage comes out to be 85.5657. You have to write only up to 2 decimal places exactly without rounding it off. Things which you have to take care, and as Shobhaji has requested you, that you have to be very careful while filling the form, like as the messages are appearing, one of the students has written that they have filled their email also wrongly. So if you have filled the email wrongly, that means you will not receive any confirmation of your registration. So, and I think we'll be able to answer, Shobhaji will be able to answer whether we'll allow such a change or not. Register with your correct email again. So whatever the policy, it will be told to you shortly. So please don't do such kind of mistakes, because we are here to help you, but in certain circumstances, even because of the technical and some procedures which we are following, there are some rules where we are very strict and we don't have any allowance, and we will not be able to help you. It is not that we would not like to help you, but some software procedures where once you register, there are certain fields which will not, you will not be allowed to modify, like your name, your parents' name, your enrollment number. A lot of students make a mistake who are from Delhi University to fill their enrollment number wrongly. So because your enrollment number is related to your admission in Delhi University, so please fill your enrollment number correctly. Please make sure, if you think you, make sure that you verify also with some document like your previous year mark sheet or any other document issued by the university where your enrollment number is clearly specified. Don't trust your memory so that you don't make a mistake. So these are some of the points which I wanted to emphasize. There is also a list of nodal officers of different departments which will be able to help you later on. Also, most of the students have a query about the syllabus of the entrance examination. It is clearly specified in the bulletin that syllabus of the entrance is the syllabus of the honors courses, qualifying examination on the basis of which you are exam for the master's program. Suppose you are going to take admission in a MA Political Science, then BA Honors Political Science syllabus is the syllabus of the entrance exam. So that is also clearly specified in the bulletin. Also, you can check the website of the respective department if they have explicitly given the syllabus for the entrance exam. So please also look at it. All right. So with that, I think I tried to cover most of the things, and now I would like Pinky Madam to add some of the things which I might have missed. So thank you. Thank you, Sumanji. Thank you, Shobhaji.
Thank you, Ashutosh ji. You have tried, you have covered a number of points. Now I request Dr. Pinky Sharma, who has also acted as OSD last year. She was OSD admissions. So she is also having a lot of expertise in this admission field. So I request her to address the students, and then we will start question answer session. Over to Pinky ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suman Kumar, and thank you so much, Shobha ma'am and Ashutosh sir. You have discussed all the major points related to the admission, and nothing is left, but still a few points I would like to emphasize to help the student. I request all the students to fill up the form thoroughly, because we don't expect that the PG student, they are committing some mistake, because you are after all graduates, either from the Delhi University or from some other university. Now, when you fill up the form, as Professor Ashutosh has suggested, that all the steps you should fill up carefully, and because you may not get the opportunity to correct them, many of them. Generally, the students, they commit mistake, like, madam, we have filled up the mother's name instead of the father's name. Sometime reverse is there, where they have to fill up their own name, they will fill up the name of the father and vice versa. Please be careful. Bulletin of information is prepared by the admission committee, and they have spent day and night to give you the consolidated one. Please go through the bulletin of information before you start filling up the form. Another thing is, fee is non-refundable, and maybe Professor Shobha will correct me, for editing of a few of the selective points only, fee, say 100 rupees fee is chargeable. At this time it is there or not, Shobha madam, please correct me. And Moreover, when you fill up the university form for the PG admission, we have SOL and NC Web also, where for the admission in SOL and NC Web, it is auto selected, though the admissions is done by NC Web department and SOL separately. And second thing is, please check your eligibility from the Bulletin of Information, because many of the department, they have given their own eligibility. Like I'm giving you the example for law department. For the general category, eligibility is 50%. For OBC, it is 45%. And for SC, ST, it is 40%. And in few of the department, for SC and ST, only the pass marks are required. So please go through the Bulletin of Information so that you are not committing any mistake while filling up the form. Second thing is, please be ready with your certificate, required certificate. Especially I'm talking about the OBC certificate. The deadline is that it should be with referring the non-creamy layer. And the certificate should be after the 31st March of 2020. Online, these certificates are being issued. And please, I expect that most of you have already applied and you have received that non-creamy layer certificate from 31st March 2020. And all other persons who are still supposed to fill up the form, please apply, and the registration slip you can attach, and the certificate will be ready by the time admission process starts. Another thing is that supernumerary seats. Supernumerary seats eligibility you have to find out from the Bulletin of Information, and especially I will refer to the CW category. Generally, because there are now 9 categories, and while filling up the form, students, they generally commit mistake. Instead of the 4, they will tick mark 2nd, or when they belong to the 2nd category, they have tick mark the 5th one. Please be careful. Later on, chaos are created because you people are right that we belong to this category, we have the certificate for this category, but you have filled up the wrong. So that creates a problem for the admission committee also. Please be careful when you tick mark that category. Another thing is, those departments, those faculties who admit basically only on the entrance base, especially the professional course, there is no seat for the sports category or the ECW category. For the law department, student will come, I belong to the sport category, but with the law faculty does not give admission on the basis of the sport. So please check from the Bulletin of Information before you presume that I belong to this category and definitely I am eligible for admission in this particular department. Please check from the Bulletin of Information. And moreover, for the ECW, this time we have the admission only for the NCC and NSS only. Because of this pandemic situation, we are not able to have
Madam, sorry to interrupt. In the PG, there is no EC admission, only sports.
Yeah, sir, now have shifted to the ECW category, that this time we have only NSS and NCC admission.
No, hai nahi na, madam. PG mein hai nahi.
Oh, okay. That is for the, I'm sorry. That is for the graduation. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, Professor Suman. That is about the webinar for today for the PG admission. I wish you all the best to all the students. Now you can come with your questions.
Thank you, Pinky ma'am. So now we are going to take up questions, and we have Satish Awasthi sir with us, and Dr. Sadhu Sukla is also with us, and they have worked on PG Bulletin also. So Shobha ma'am is also with us. So I am starting the questions now, which is there in the chat box. If someone has uploaded an invalid acknowledgement slip under category at the time of registration, but gets the certificate at the time of admission, will he be considered under category? This categorical question, I think Shobha ma'am will be answer in a better position.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Suman. So first of all, let me thank Dr. Ashutosh ji and Dr. Pinky ji for giving all that elaborate information about the PG admission. As far as the uploads of the category certificates are done, we have been mentioning this again and again, and it is there in the bulletin also. And Dr. Pinky ji also has emphasized on that as of now, in case you do not have the current OBC certificate, you may upload your older certificate, but preferably it should be the acknowledgement slip that you have applied for the new OBC certificate. So preferably it should be that you have already set that process into the motion. So apply for your current OBC certificate. The applications are being considered online. So apply for that, and preferably if you upload that, it will be better. At the later stage, when you do have during nearer the time of the admissions, we will be opening up the window and we will be giving you a chance to upload your newer certificates, so you need not worry about that. Now, lots of queries have been coming about the editing, so let us make this absolutely clear. And especially, because since you all are filling it up for the PG courses now, at every stage when you fill up the form, there is a pop-up box that comes in which, you have to tick mark that I have read and seen that all the information that is given by me is correct, right? Now, once you have done that, the university assumes that the information given by you is correct. Therefore, the editings in your phone number, in your email ID, in your category will not be allowed at any stage. So let's be very, very clear about that, because in fact, when you register for this portal, the OTP comes on your registered mobile number and the email ID. So that has to be correct. So no editings will be allowed for your email ID. No editings will be allowed to correct your mobile numbers. No editings will be allowed to make it into your category. So whatever category you are filling it up, please fill it up very, very carefully. I repeat again that at every stage, there is a pop-up that comes up on the registration portal that the information filled by me is absolutely correct. Right? So those will not be allowed, but once when you have the newer certificate, a window will be given that will be nearer the time of the admission to upload your current certificate.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question is, sir, MA History entrance के question paper में Hindi medium का option होगा? Means the question paper will be only in English medium or in Hindi medium also?
Okay. See, as far as I remember, and but I can be, as far as I remember, history is bilingual, but I think this information will be got basically from the departmental website. Every department were asked to put up their syllabus, the medium of the test on their website, and it should be available on their website. So the applicants, are advised to look up the website of the department. And in case they have any query about that, they can speak to the head of the department head of the department also. But history, as far as I remember, is bilingual.
शोभा जी आपने ठीक कहा, बाइलिंगुअल है.
ये थोड़ी डिस्टर्बेंस आ रही है मैडम. परहैप्स पिंकी शर्मा जी, मैडम माइक बोलने के टाइम ऑन कर लेना, अभी शायद डिस्टर्बेंस आ रही है वहां से. यस. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, वी आर सपोज टू राइट percentage of 5 subjects or 6 subjects in class 12. क्लास 12 के मार्क्स भरने में 5 सब्जेक्ट, so it's a 5 subject. A query, how to change a detail when we found a need for correction later after making the payment. So ma'am have already answered that this window will be given. This window will come.
I again repeat, windows will be given only for certain fields. For the personal details, there will be no window given for the editings. Right? So there is nothing कि हम लोगों ने फी सबमिट कर दिया है. फी सबमिट करते करते आप लोगों के पास बार बार पॉपअप्स आते हैं जहां पे आप सर्टिफाई करते हो कि we have seen that all the details filled by us is correct. You certify it. You tick mark into the box, only then does the portal go forward, So for the personal details, there will be no window given. There will be no editings allowed in the personal details.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question is, Ashutosh ji has already given, but even though he may clarify, have you cancelled ECA this year for postgraduate admissions?
ECA has never been there in the postgraduate admission. In postgraduate admission, the different supernumerary seats, which Pinky Madam has already covered, are sports, TW, and PWD. ECA admissions are never for the PG admissions. And also, as Pinky Madam has clarified, that in the entrance phase, even the sports supernumerary seats are not there.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely correct. For the PG admissions, there never ever have been the ECA seats. So it's not about cancelling it this year. We did not have the ECA seats in the PG even during the past years.
Yeah. Next question is, if someone has uploaded, no, this question we have already answered. This question is here twice. I want to apply for PhD under unreserved category on the basis of UGC NET. The candidate has qualified NET and wants to apply for PhD under unreserved category. But I qualified UGC NET under EWS category. So can I apply under unreserved category?
You can always apply under unreserved category, because you have, but only thing would be that once you apply under unreserved category, you will be evaluated under that category and you will not be able to take the benefit of the EWS at that time. Means your name will appear in the after the interview, because in PhD there you have to face an interview in all the departments, and then you will be considered under undergraduate category and not under the reserved category. But if you apply under EWS category, still based on your merit, your name can appear in the unreserved category depending upon your merit. Okay.
Okay.
I would like to in fact clarify another point out over here. In case any student, is applying under a category, because the registration fees is charged separately. And we have mentioned this in the bulletin, that in case they have applied for the OBC category, EWS category, SC category, ST category, they will not be denied admission under the UR category. But if you have applied under the EWS category or the SC category or the ST category where the registration fees is low, you are supposed to have the certificate of that category. Because otherwise, this is bound to be like, it's supposed to be unlawful that you have applied under a category, paid a lower registration fees, and you do not possess the certificate of that category. So every student has to be very, very careful about that.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question is, I have uploaded a blur mark sheet of class 10th as it is a proof of DOB. Please tell me what to do.
He has uploaded a wrong certificate.
Blur. Mark sheet is blur. The picture is not very clear.
Okay, so they need not worry, because this is something, that we have asked all the departments and the colleges also, that in case they find out that the uploaded certificate is not very clear, they may contact the applicants both on the phone and the email, and at that time the applicant can send it a clearer picture of the certificate. But be very careful that your email ID and the phone should be correct, because they will be contacting you only on the registered email and the phone number.
Thank you. Next question is, I have graduated in 2019 from DU. I want to take admission on merit basis. When I am filling 2019 BCom honors detail, I am confused. So to what I should fill in? 3 columns given. Also, merit list is formed on percentage basis, but they are automatically writing CGPA in the column of percentage. So please help me. How should I write my graduation percentage in the form? So this question is not very clear that what the candidate wants to know. But what I can understand, that one issue is regarding CGPA. CGPA calculation is being automatically done on the portal. And
see, CGPA, when you look at the portal, it may not show you the conversion into the percentage, right? But that conversion is what will be taken at the time of the admission. And that is, I think Dr. Ashutosh had also mentioned it. We have already clearly written in the bulletin that for the University of Delhi, if you have a CGPA, out of 10, and you have got a certain CGPA, to convert it into percentage, it will be multiplied by 9.5.
yeah.
So there should be no confusion in that, in fact.
And it's next is very common question. Pinky Sharma ma'am may answer because she might have faced such questions last time also. I have did a spelling error in email ID while registering and also in the mail form too. What should they do? A spelling mistake in email ID.
Just now, Professor Shobha has pointed out that such type of the corrections are not allowed, which are pertaining to the personal details of the candidates.
So they should
Shobha
fill
ma'am?
In fact, she will not be able to access her application.
Yes.
Basically, she will not get any information through email. So better would be she should register again with a correct
Yes.
email ID.
Yes, she should, with the correct email ID, she can fill up the fresh form and she has to pay fee again. She or he, whosoever is there.
See, in fact, if they have not filled in the correct email ID, they will not get your, first of all, at the first stage itself, when you are registering new, you will not get an OTP if you have not given the correct email ID. Any further information will only be going at the email ID that you have provided to us, because, at our level, at the university level, we have no way of knowing what is your correct ID. So that only you know it, and that is something, the personal details have to be filled up absolutely clearly by the students.
Yeah.
But somehow
Yeah.
she has to lose the fee only. How she could pay the fee, and that is not clear, because obviously the university portal has accepted, but she has to fill up the fresh form. She is right.
Yeah, because that means that registration email ID was not correct. They will have to fill up the new one.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Next question is, if someone misplaced their final year mark sheet and cannot procure one due to current circumstances, what is the process now?
See, again, the thing is, Dr. Pinky, would you like to elaborate on that, please?
Hello?
Yeah, Dr. Pinky, please.
Yeah, when the candidate is not having her mark sheet original, then it is obviously a problem. If she can find get it the fresh one before the admission process is over, and she has a photocopy, on the basis of that she can apply.
Okay.
So photocopy she can upload, and before the admission is over, she has to procure the original one from the concerned university or the department.
Yes. Next question is, although this is not expected from a student who is applying for a PG admission, documents to be uploaded should be original or photocopy. Address is to be submitted self-attested. How can you self-attest your original copy? Obviously, you'll be doing your photocopy.
So anyhow, just to answer their query, it is the photocopies which have to be attested. And in case you are unable to attest the photocopy, because you may have a digital copy already in your system, you may also upload that.
Okay. Next is, my photo and signature had been rotated in the final form. Is there any problem?
Rotated means it must have got exchanged, right?
Direction might have changed.
No, that will not create a problem.
Next is, I have graduated from DU, but I have applied for entrance-based test, and my mistake, I filled wrong enrollment number. Can I edit it now? Or filling this wrong enrollment number will lead to cancellation of my form? So, ma'am.
No, the wrong enrollment number will not lead to the cancellation, but maybe during the time of the admission, the departments may ask, the candidate to clarify it. Right? So in case, they have, the applicants, in fact, have not been able to, because this option has been asked only for the Delhi University students. to give in their roll number and the enrollment number, and it was not a mandatory field, so there was no asterisk over there. So in case you have not got it, you have not filled it, you may just leave a space, or even if you have filled it wrong, we'll try to ignore it. But again, a word of caution: try to be very, very careful when you're filling up the form.
Yeah. This next question is already answered. Ashutosh has already answered this question. Are we supposed to write percentage of 5 subject or 6 subject in class 12 blank? So once again, Ashutosh, you can repeat the answer.
5 subjects.
5 subjects. Next is entrance test centers are too few, not in near vicinity. Shobha ma'am.
See, this is something, though we understand the circumstances, that is prevailing across India, but that is something which is not in our hand. In fact, the entrance test is going to be conducted by the National Testing Agency, NTA. They had initially provided us with 20 centers. We sent them a request and they acceded to our request. Now we have at least 1 center in each state, so the centers have been increased from 20 to 24. So this is a constraint that we'll have to work out with whenever the entrance test is conducted.
Next question is, I want to alter my class 12th stream. It is selected as arts, but actually it is commerce. So regarding editing option.
Don't worry too much about that. They can just leave it, and during the time of the admission, they can they can clarify that it was not arts, actually it's commerce, right?
Okay.
So they can ignore it for the time being.
Yeah. Next is, if I have selected for St. Stephen's College as my first preference, so I get St. Stephen's in cutoff but don't qualify for interview, then will I get second preference college or not?
For these St. Stephen's College, it's slightly tricky because what the departments would be doing is this: departments have their number of seats which are distributed across various colleges. So depending upon the preferences that a candidate has given, the departments will be sending it out over there. St. Stephen's, they have announced that they do have interviews. Now, if in case you do not make it into the interview, then you will be considered only if there are seats left vacant in the second cutoff or the second merit list, whichever is coming up. So you have to be very, very cautious about it, in fact.
Okay. Next question is...
let me just add to that.
Yeah. Yes.
If you have applied for St. Stephen's and but your admission in other college, you are eligible for that, and as per the automatic allotment of the colleges, you will be allotted a different college if you will not qualify under the interview of St. Stephen's College.
Thank you. So you need not worry. The candidate needs not worry. Next is, in the admission form of the postgraduate for the entrance based, there are 2 categories given. Category 1, graduates in BA program, BA Pass, BA Honors, BA degree, and code 2, which is as above underlined in the photo. So we that is as BLEd students should choose which of the following category. The degree in education considered in which of the category?
So they are talking about postgraduate in which subject?
They are applying for PG entrance.
PG entrance in which subject? But you have to be careful because eligibility criteria for different subjects will be different.
She is asking, I have done BLEd. So
okay, but she wants to apply. She wants to apply for PG in what? She wants to apply for PG BA, or she wants to apply for the masters, in certain subject. I think that has to be clear before we can answer that question.
Okay, because that part is not clear.
Yeah.
Only this much is given. So let us move to G. Yes, Hanit ma'am.
Can I add to this?
Yeah, sure.
For BLEd students, I think if she is eligible, she must be eligible for Masters in Arts. Sciences, however, and mathematical sciences are not open for her. So, and in the education and in the subject, she may choose education as the undergraduate subject.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Next is, my father is in government service and his income is less than 8 lakhs. Can I apply in EWS category? means
See, yeah. So if you satisfy all the conditions which is required for the EWS category, they can fill it up, because what is exactly the complete information that the applicant themselves will know. They just need to certify that they meet all the eligibility, that is all the conditions that are required to be under the EWS category. Once you get into that, get your EWS certificate made, and then submit that, and then you can be considered under the EWS category.
Next question is coming to us frequently. Sir, I have come in category of EWS and I applied through EWS category by uploading the receipt of EWS application. Is it okay? At the time of admission, I will show EWS certificate.
Yes, I think we have answered that already. If they have given the application,
Yeah. Next is for MSc Mathematics. I have filled both merit and entrance-based option in admission criteria. What is the selection process in this criteria? If I do not appear for the exams for some reason, am I eligible for merit-only option?
see, any applicant who has filled in both merit-based and entrance-based, so they do have a choice of giving the entrance also, so that if they make it up into the entrance list, they can be considered to admission via that list. But they will also be considered under the admission of merit list, provided they satisfy whatever is the merit that has been declared by the department.
Yeah. Next question is, by what time correction window will be available?
See, that we, as I've already mentioned it will be after the registration closes, and we'll be trying to give it just a few days before the actual admission processes start, so that all the applicants, who have applied for fresh certificates, they have those fresh certificates ready with them. The second point is, the results are also declared of all the students, whether they are from the University of Delhi or from the other universities also. So we'll be giving this window only nearer the time of the admissions for them.
Okay. Next question is,
With your permission, Dr. Suman, can I say something?
sure.
Yes, Dr. Pinky.
As Professor Shobha has pointed out, the category change is not allowed, and it has never been allowed. And in that case, if the students later on find that I can procure the certificate for the EWS category or the other category, it will not give any benefit. Once you have filled up the category, that will not be changed. It happens that students later on procure EWL because it started from the last year only, the EWS category, and later on they could find out and they were coming with the request the category change should be allowed. And the PG student, they should be very, very careful that once you have filled up whatever category to which you belong, that is fine. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
For the clarification.
In fact, that is applicable for the supernumerary seats also. If you have not applied under the CW or PWD category, then later on you will not be allowed to change the category.
Yeah.
That's why I pointed out the CW category, the subcategories are 9, and later on they come with the request that I have filled up the wrong subcategory. That will not be allowed. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Next is, the candidate wants to know about EWS category. Although it is already specified in bulletin, but since the candidate is asking, so may I request Ashutosh ji to give a little detail about EWS category and certificate?
It is very clearly given in the bulletin, and there is also a link given in the bulletin through which they will get all the information about the EWS category and how to apply and where to apply. So that all information is in the bulletin, so they need to download the bulletin.
Thank you.
Use the relevant link to check all the details.
Thank you. So, would you like to add something?
See, I'll again write it that for the EWS, the format of the certificate is there in the bulletin. So the applicants are required to read the bulletin, and the University of Delhi falls under the central government. So we follow the central government rules, right? So the notification, the date and the reference of the notification is already there in the bulletin. The departments have increased certain number of seats, in order to accommodate these EWS students. So that has also been notified over there. The link of the notification, as Dr. Ashutosh has mentioned, is already given. They can click on that link and go over there. The certificate that will be valid for EWS will be the one which will be issued on or after the 31st March 2020.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, it's a question little on funny side. Hello, ma'am. Please tell me about MCOM. That classes will be conducted on regular basis or not? It is not under our purview.
See, the thing is, the University of Delhi conducts all its PG courses in the regular mode. For the given academic year, the situation, in fact, is not known to either any of us. So the university will take a decision into that whether the next semester has to be conducted online or whether the candidates will be coming physically to the department, or will it be the blend of the two modes. So that the university will decide, and based on the university decision, every department will do accordingly.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question is, recently UGC approved the idea of pursuing 2 degrees together on May 22nd. Can you confirm this news?
See, we are nobody to confirm this news, right? The news can be confirmed only by the UGC, but whatever are the UGC directives, the University of Delhi is going to follow that. So that is something that we can confirm. But what news is correct or not, from the UGC side or from any other institution, I do not think so. The University of Delhi is sitting over here to confirm the news by the other institutions.
We are organizing this webinar just to help the student for admission purposes only.
Yes. Yes. Next, when will the entrance exam for PG be conducted? The tentative schedule, perhaps the candidate wants to know.
The things are in a very, very fluid state as of now. We all know that. So as soon as we do get the formal dates from NTA that we have already said, we will be putting it up on the university website. However, the mode of the examination, the process of the examination, how the examination will be conducted, it will be CBT as of right now. All that process has already been uploaded on the Delhi University website. On the right-hand side, you will have this tab for all the UG, the PG, and the MPhil PhD, that how this entrance-based test will be conducted. So kindly go through that for the time being.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, may I know about the sample papers of MSc in Environmental Science?
They would mean for the entrance test, right?
Yeah, it is entrance test.
Entrance test, MSc Environmental Science.
And
They can check it on the website of the department.
Yes, because every department is supposed to put up their past year entrance test, so they need to check up the departmental website.
Yes.
I can only confirm it for my department. It is there for my department. The past year papers are present on the Cluster Innovation Center.
It is a discretion of the department whether they put up on their website or not. Yes.
Yes.
Next is regarding payment. I think there is a problem in payment page. I have been trying since 2 days, but not able to proceed to payment. Please look into the matter.
See, there is something, because there was 2 or 3 queries that I got. One was the query that the files that I'm uploading are in the correct size, but it is giving me an issue in the upload section. Finally, we had to ask the student to send us, the files that he were uploading. And what we found out was that the applicant was applying under the EWS category. The candidate had uploaded the photograph, the signature, the class 10th mark sheet, and he also had his Aadhaar card, the ID proof that he had uploaded. But he was not uploading the EWS satisfactory. So naturally, the portal was not moving ahead, right? So this is something, you have to be very careful that all the mandatory fields is something that you have provided. When you are doing the tick, on all the mandatory fields, the portal will take you to the payment gateway. In case it is not going to the payment gateway, the first thing that we would like to tell you is that kindly see that all the fields have been filled up correctly by you. And the second is, in case you're still having a problem, just wait for some time, because there could be certain network issue. In case you're still not able to do it, because once when you submit the form and it goes to the payment gateway, then actually you are out of the DU server. In those cases, we will request you, we have also given you the helpline numbers and the email IDs of the payment gateway. Kindly contact them. The fourth option is, in case you're not able to contact them, kindly send your form number to our help desk, and we will try to see whether we can get it verified from the bank, whether the payment has been made or not.
Next
But
question
please follow these steps accordingly. Do not go into the reverse order, please.
Yeah, thank you. Next is, by mistake, I have written University of Delhi in place of college last extended. What should I do now? Will there be any problem?
No, there will not be a problem. At the end of the day, even if you have studied it from any of the colleges of the University of Delhi, you do and fall under the University of Delhi. So it's okay.
Next is, can we fill the form twice if we did a mistake filling our form?
The University of Delhi is never ever going to ask you to fill up the form twice. What we are going to suggest to everybody is, and what we have been saying it from the beginning of this webinar is, be absolutely, very, very clear and be very, very cautious while filling up the form so that you do not make any mistakes. There are pop-ups coming which tells you that, have you verified that all the, inputs that you have given in the portal are correct or not. Take your time. Do not be in a hurry. The university will never ever advise you to fill up a second form. But of course, after having said that, there are certain fields which cannot be edited. Be very, very cautious while filling up those fields.
Yes, next, Satish Avasthi sir may answer this question. Ma'am, I have EWS certificate issued by UP government, having all the conditions same as central. Is it valid for admission?
I don't think there are some of the central government, they will be allowed.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Yeah, signal problem is there.
अब ठीक आ रही है.
Yeah, tell me please once more the questions.
I have EWS certificate issued by UP government having all the conditions same as central government. Is it valid for admission?
Yeah, it will be valid. Provided it should be issued after March 31st, 2020. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it will be valid.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah.
And
Next
provided
question.
what the candidate is saying is absolutely true, that it has all the information that is required from the under the central government.
Yeah. Without looking at his certificate, we are giving a general answer. It doesn't mean that his certificate is valid. Unless and until the certificate comes to us, we cannot say categorically. It's a general answer. So is there any kind of... Sir, yes.
No, Dr. Suman.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Suman?
Haan, sir.
Yeah, this EWS certificate is issued either by SDM, sub-divisional magistrate, or Tahsildar in the current financial year.
Yeah. That's why I have said... Yeah, what the candidate is saying, that may not be true when we see the certificate. So it's a very general nature of answer which we are giving.
नहीं सुमन जी, जो सतीश जी कहना चाह रहे हैं कि आपका स्टेट से भी ये सर्टिफिकेट इशू हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो सारा का सारा द कंडीशंस व्हिच आर स्पेसिफाइड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट टू बी एलिजिबल फॉर ईडब्ल्यूएस कैटेगरी. So state can also issue, the DM, district magistrate can also issue such a certificate. And
thank you. Next question is there any kind of reservation system for Delhi residence students in Delhi University PG admissions, like 85% reservation for Delhi residence students or 15% from outside in PG courses?
it is not even in UG, not in PG. Delhi University is a central university, so that is not there.
Okay. Next is
The only preference for the NCT women candidates will be given in the courses which are there in the NC web.
yeah. This candidate wanted to take admission in LLB and was looking for some reservation for Delhi students, which is not available. Next is I have passed my 12th exam successfully in 2015. But in 2016, I have appeared for improvement exams. I have filled improvement marks in the application form, but I want to know which year should I fill in the year of passing, 2015 or 16?
The year of passing is basically 2015, and since he has given it for improvement for 2016, I think he's talking about the class 12th marks that we are asking in the PG portal, right? So naturally, his percentage जो होगा उसका वो that will be the best of the two that he has, from 2015 and 16.
No, but passing year, what should the
passing
candidate?
year is 2015 itself. The candidate would have passed out in 2015.
Shobhaji, because he is using the mark after 2015, he got a new mark sheet. Normally, the board issues a new mark sheet, and since he will be using those marks for the type rating criteria, so he should write as 2015 because that should be considered.
Yeah, because if he has an improved marks in 2016, yes. Sorry, then I stand to be corrected.
Next is in option of Hindi medium available in MA History entrance exams. Will the question paper will be in Hindi also? MA History का बच्चा पूछना चाह रहा है कि question paper हमें हिंदी में भी available होगा?
वो हम लोगों ने already बता दिया है.
जी. MSc Physics, this question we have already covered. Next is actually my father and mother names has been wrongly written in 10th and 12th mark sheet. What should I do?
See, unless we do not know what is going to be the correct name, right? Unless and until you have an affidavit with you which states that yes, this is the wrong name and this is the correct name, we have no other way of verifying that what is the correct name. So our advice would be, yes, sir.
What the candidate will have to do, they have to actually, now the procedure is the school will issue some letter for the concerned board, and they will also give a copy of the attendance register to the candidate, and then the candidate will apply in the respective board to get his name or his father and mother's name corrected and get the new certificate issued from that board, because otherwise later on if there is a discrepancy between different certificates or like his Aadhaar card, then he might get problem to get admission in DU. So he needs to get it corrected through the particular board.
Yes, in fact, that is exactly what, thank you, Dr. Ashutoshi, that is exactly what I was saying, that either through the board or they need to have an affidavit which clearly states, that this is the correct name of the parent and it has been, wrongly put over there. And, because either you have applied for the correction of the certificate, or it's in fact much better that you already have the corrected certificate with you as of right now, because class 10th and 12th, you must have passed out at least 3 to 5 years back.
The candidate is saying that I have approached CBSE board and board has clearly denied for any change.
For that, we are also helpless. We can't help the candidate, but later or sooner he has to get it corrected. Otherwise, it will be a problem for even for getting some passport. So he should get it corrected through the school from the concerned board.
No, CBSE correct kar raha hai. I know that. So what they are saying that CBSE is not doing it. CBSE is in fact doing it.
Okay.
I myself know the candidates who have got it changed and got it correct.
The candidate should approach.
Only it is a tedious process, so they have to undergo that.
Okay, thank you. I belong to EWS category and my EWS certificate is issued in my father's name. Will I be eligible?
The certificates have to be in the candidate's name.
It's very clear, the certificate has to be in the candidate's name. Next is, I also want to inform you that I have also been issued the government gazette notification which declares mark sheet written names as wrong. These two questions are confused. Can I upload my older EWS certificate? This question is also answered. As the admission process will be completely online, so those students who have appeared for improvement exams, which mark sheet should they upload?
I think that also Dr. Ashutosh has answered it, because
Yes.
it depends upon where you have the better marks, so you can give those marks. But I think this should be related to the UG, not for the PG. Because PG, if they would have appeared for the improvement, they would have already got that result.
Yeah, in DU they might apply for evaluation. That's the issue for our university. Next is regarding PG entrance exam. What will be the procedure for admission in PG courses based on entrance test like MCOM, MA Economics? If the NTA is not able to conduct entrance test because of this COVID-19 pandemic, so whether this the candidate wants to know that these entrance tests will be conducted or not. If the NTA is not able to conduct the exam, then what will be the admission process?
As of now, we are going to have the entrance test. Yes, the dates have not been scheduled. And so since we are going to have the entrance test, we are going to go along with the same process, which is based on the entrance test.
Next is, can a BA program student with political science as discipline apply for merit-based admission in MA political science, or is it only for political science honors degree students?
I think the candidate needs to look at the bulletin very clearly because if I remember very clearly, for the political science, it was written that you have to have for the eligibility in the merit course, it is you have to have a BA honors in political science from University of Delhi.
Next is, can downloaded mark sheet from CBSE site be applicable for class 10 certificate, which we have to upload for date of birth verification? Means not the original certificate, the downloaded certificate from CBSE site.
From the repository, that's what they mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that will be considered valid because that is something we can verify.
Yeah. Next question is the admission process of NCWeb. What is the admission process for NCWeb students?
So for the NCWeb also, the registration process is through this portal only. When they will be filling it up, the one condition that is required for NCWeb they have to be a female candidate and they have to be the resident of NCT Delhi. In fact, if you fill those two criteria and all those PG courses which are available in NCWeb, those applicants would see that by default there would be a tick mark into the NCWeb column for those candidates, and it goes by default because that is a choice that they have. They may or may not want to avail that.
Okay.
So the first thing is you have to be a woman candidate, and the second is you have to be a resident of the NCT Delhi.
NCT Delhi. Next question is, when St. Stephen's will start admission process of PG?
I think they will have to go and look at the St. Stephen's website. They had announced it initially that they will be starting around 30th June, but the recent dates, whatever it is there, the applicant needs to check up at the website of the St. Stephen's College.
Yeah. Next is, the portal is showing error in document upload. So how do I apply for admission if documents are not getting accepted?
I think I've already answered that question. I gave you one instance, that what was the actual reason.
Yeah.
So they have to be very careful that the size of the documents must be as per what we have mentioned in the portal. And they are uploading all the required documents that that is needed to be uploaded on the portal. If they miss out even one such certificate, then actually the portal will not move forward.
This question is for Hanit ma'am. Please mention something about MEd admission process.
Okay. So the MEd, all courses in the education department are through entrance test. For the MEd course also, they will have to go through the entrance test. In this case, there is no merit-based test. It is purely based on entrance test.
Yeah. Next is, can 2 degree be done simultaneously? One from regular and one from distance from the same Delhi University. Means the student is asking that whether can I take admission in SOL and one PG course simultaneously.
No, I think in what the UGC notifications says, and I stand to be corrected, is that they have to be from different institutions. Because one can be in the regular mode, one can be in the distance mode. But Delhi University does not offer any of its courses in the distance mode. So in the University of Delhi, the student can follow up only one course.
Is it possible that academic session won't happen this year? We don't need to answer this question now.
Yeah.
My daughter have 2014 OBC certificate. Can we upload? Yes, you can upload. We have answered this question several times. And you can also see the FAQs which are available on the. How much time prior will be told about the entrance test to be held? Means what? How much time will be given for entrance test examination?
So a minimum of 2 weeks and a maximum of 4 weeks time will be given for them for the entrance test.
Okay. I want to take admission in MA Hispanic, but I don't have done graduation in the same subject. Instead of that, I have just completed my B2 certification in Spanish language, but I don't have my certificate of the course because my institution is closed right now due to COVID-19. So I want to ask that after the entrance test and oral exam, is it necessary to have the document at the time of admission?
See, the applicants are being admitted into their into any of the master's courses on the basis that they would have cleared their qualifying examination, and for that they will have to produce documents, to support that they have passed the qualifying examination. So it goes without saying that without certificates, to support your claim that you have cleared the qualifying examination, none of the applicants will be considered for any of these master's courses.
Thank you. Next is, I have mentioned wrong year of passing class 12th. Means the candidate has entered a wrong entry in class 12 passing year.
Ashutosh ji, Pinky ji, though I do not see any problem in that, but this is something that we have been saying again and again. Be cautious of filling it up. But Ashutosh ji, if you want to add something to that, please.
Normally the year will not affect, but if they fill the wrong percentage and suppose there's a tie, then in the tie taking criteria there will be a problem. Again, same is with the age, because the age has to be correct as per the certificate. Otherwise, there may be issue. Please provide the right information, but right now I think it will not affect. Pinky ji may elaborate.
Yes, sir, you are right. As far as the year is concerned, that is not of that much relevance. But as far as the percentage and other things are concerned, they are very important from the type-breaking rule also.
No, it is relevant. It is relevant. But now everything is relevant, so don't make mistake. But yes, you are safe.
Yeah, for the year, it may not create any problem. For the college,
it may not create any problem, but I'm emphasizing that everything is relevant, so please don't fill anything and any
but I'm talking about that concerned student or candidate.
I agree.
Ji, sir.
Thank you. Next is, I have applied for a Bachelor of Library and Information Science. The admission in this course is based on merit of graduation, but in admission selection list of admitted students, there is no display of merit. ये हम इसी पोर्टल से कर रहे हैं, बैचलर ऑफ लाइब्रेरी साइंस.
हाँ, बैचलर ऑफ लाइब्रेरी साइंसेस भी हमारा पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट पोर्टल से ही हो रहा है.
ये द कैंडिडेट इज आस्किंग कि वो मेरिट परसेंटेज लिस्ट नहीं साफ दिख रही है. So this time, please upload the merit percentage list of the applied students for transparency.
So I think the department does that. In case it is not that, I think we'll pass on this message to the department.
Yeah.
आप एक बार जो वहाँ के नोडल ऑफिसर हैं उन्हें कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. बट आप कह रहे हैं फॉर्म भरते हुए नहीं दिख रही है, ऐसा नहीं होगा. अगर आप DU ये जो है मेरिट बेस्ड है, और अगर आप इसका एलिजिबिलिटी चेक करते हैं बैचलर ऑफ लाइब्रेरी साइंस का, तो उसमें आपके पास मास्टर्स डिग्री होनी चाहिए, सेकंड डिवीजन फ्रॉम द यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली, मास्टर्स डिग्री सेकंड डिवीजन विद 50% above from other university, bachelor's degree honors with 50% and above from University of Delhi, bachelor's degree with 50% above from other university, bachelor's degree with 50% or above from the University of Delhi, and bachelor's degree with 50% from other universities. So this is the criteria, and you can apply under merit base. This is based on the merit.
Thank you. Next is, I have studied previous cutoffs and the highest cutoff I came across was 100%. If CGPA is converted to percentage, then the highest percentage will be 95%. Then how can someone score 100%?
Dr. Pinky?
Pinky ma'am, please respond.
Hanji sir, please repeat the question, please.
Yeah, I have studied previous cutoffs. The candidate is saying that he has seen last year cutoff and it was around 100%. So he's saying that if CGPA is converted to percentage, then the highest percentage will be 95%. So how can someone score 100%?
I think he's talking about the UG. In UG,
Yes.
many of the first of the cutoff, we find that many of the candidates, they got 100%. It was not for the PG, as far as I remember.
I think Dr. Pinky is absolutely right. For the PG, neither do I recall that there has been a merit पे आपके पास 100% है. Second thing is कि merit based admission in the PG courses, on whatever department it is applicable only to the Delhi University candidates. Delhi University is right now following the CBCS scheme. Under the CBCS scheme, it is the grades that are given. So anybody who has a 10-point CGPA, पूरा का पूरा भी अगर है, their percentage will be 95%. So
Yes.
this information, this question is not correct by the applicant.
Yeah, it's not possible to get more than 95.
Actually, that is, I think, what is here. He may not have framed the question rightly. That he wants to know that how I can get 100% when we are converting. The maximum has been explained clearly. The maximum you can get is 95%, and since it is relative, so it hardly matters. 95, basically, if you have 95%, you will be the top.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sumanji, over to you.
Mic, no, my mic was switched off. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Most of the questions now, what I find, they are general in nature, which Soha ma'am and both our experts have already given the answer. So we don't need to take them, all of them. Now I am taking the next question, which may be answered. Sir, I have a 3-year gap after graduation. Is there any problem in applying LLB course?
Absolutely not. He can apply.
Now, ma'am, all the questions are too much. How long we should go? We have already crossed half an hour, more than our duration, and the questions which I am getting constantly on my screen, that is repeatedly regarding certain corrections only. Most of the questions are regarding corrections.
And that Professor Shobha has already explained that wherever corrections are allowed, and that again after the registration is over. Dr. Suman, can I say something with your permission?
Sure, ma'am.
So I suggest and request all the candidates that they should regularly check the DU website, because the admission branch has discretion to modify, alter or make an amendment in the rules which are framed up in the Bulletin of Information. And like we say, ignorance of law is not an excuse, and reading those changes through the website, that will not be an excuse for the candidate. And second thing is, we in the Bulletin of Information, we have given certain performers, especially for the EWS category and the CW category, where they have to tick mark that subcategory. So candidate, they must go through those performers while they are getting the certificates from the concerned officials, concerned departments. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. One clarification, candidate wants to know that whether this income certificate should be in the name of the candidate or in the name of the parents.
See the income certificate, if they will look at the performer, it is basically written as that so and so is the son or daughter of such and such person whose income is under this thing, so that is the format that the income certificate follows. Because naturally, unless and until, because we are talking about these PG students, there could be certain PG students, who are independent from their parents, and they have been working. So the income certificate would be in their name, but in all probabilities, the income certificate would be into their parents' names.
Like in the EWS certificate, it is the gross annual income of the family.
Yes.
Yes. Besides the properties which they own. Everything is mentioned in that pro forma.
Okay, thank you. Now, last two questions which we are taking up. First is, when will DU SOL admission process will start?
For the PG, it has already started. For the PG, in fact, if they look at the bulletin, again, as I repeated, that for NC Web, in case, they are eligible for the SOL option will also, by default, it will be coming as selected. And then the students may have an option whether they want to go in for admission at SOL or not. So for the PG admission, SOL, NC Web, their registration process has started, and it is the same registration form, in fact.
It will be auto-selected for NC Web and SOL. Yes.
Yes, you're absolutely right, ma'am.
So we have covered almost all the questions, and we have left only those questions which were very general in nature. I request once again to the applicants to go to the FAQs which are available on our website. We have placed it at 2 places. So kindly go through the FAQs, and with this, if Soham ma'am permits, we should end this webinar now, because we have covered every aspect.
Yeah, I think Dr. Suman, we can end it now, and with a very, very special thank to Dr. Ashutosh Bharadwaj and Dr. Pinky Sharma. And I would request all those applicants, in case you feel that you still have certain queries, you may post your queries, to our email ID, which is given on the website, which is pg2020@the-rate-of-admission.du.ac.in. So you can post their queries over there. But I think more or less we have covered up all the